Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Welcome to my live stream of creating an idea note-taking app in Python. I'm going to use Flask Web Framework. I already mentioned this on chat. I'm also going to use Twitter Bootstrap for HTML stuff. And let me open the chat. So, hi everyone. Okay. It should be up now. I have a mic and I'm going to explain everything that I'm doing and ask me questions in the chat area, and I'm always happy to answer them. So basically I'm going to explain what I'm trying to do. I'm going to build an app that I wanted for like a month. It may sound silly, but I want to keep track of ideas. I want to when idea pops in my head, I want to record it. Want to put it somewhere so I don't forget it later. And obviously there are apps like Evernote, and I don't know. And maybe I could just create a Google document, but I don't know. It doesn't sound right for me. Just want some simple web app. I could just put stuff, and actually I'm going to add some support for user accounts, so you will be able to use it too if you want. But if I will be the only one who is using it, yeah. So I'm not sure how long I'm going to stream because I think it will be either 1 hour or 2 hours. I think 2 hours kind of long, and typically 1 hour long streams are optimal. But I'm not sure because I don't know how much time will it take. So first of all, I want so I like to work iteratively and. So I'm going to build it step by step. So first of all, I'm going to build a simple Hello World app, and by build I mean copy paste from documentation. Then I'm going to push it to Heroku and check if everything is alright. I think I'm also going to create a GitHub account for it. Oh, sorry, not account, but repository, and then I will be building an actual app step by step. So first of all, I'm going to build a simple form to see if everything is alright. Then I'm going to add database support, and I'm not sure how much time it will take because I'm always underestimating the amount of work apps take, especially when I'm doing live coding. And so yeah, and then I'm going to maybe add some account support, maybe some comments on ideas, maybe some actual votes, maybe, not sure. I'm going to try building it, but I'm pretty sure that it takes like the full app takes a couple of days, and I think I'm going to build some basic app in these 1 or 2 hours. So here I have my terminal, and here I have Tmux, which is pretty cool. You can like create multiple splits. Okay, another one didn't work. So some darkness. So it's pretty cool. Okay, 10 people watching. That's cool. As usual, you can ask me questions in the chat, and I'm happy to answer them. So let's start building it. And okay, where is Tmux? Okay, it's running already. So, and I need a cool name for it. I'm always not good with naming, and I'm going to go to GitHub and create a repository. By the way, the code is going to be available on GitHub under I think MIT license. So a bunch of stuff, some people building things, and I'm going to create a new repository. So I want a cool name for it. No, I'm not sure. I'm bad at names and just going. Idea not taken up. And it get ignored. And if you are not familiar with GitHub, GitHub is basically like I don't know. It's basically a good hosting for your code, but a hosting that has a lot of social features, and it allows some interesting collaboration. Many open source projects are hosted there, and it's probably the most popular now. The bad thing about GitHub is that private repos are paid, so if you need private repos, you might want to use Bitbucket. Bitbucket.org. So Bitbucket has private repos, free private repos. So I'm going to create an app, and then I'm going to check out it. Sorry, not check out it, but clone. I don't know. Check out is, I think, a Sven name for git clone. So here is license, which is MIT license. It's pretty short, and it says basically do whatever you want with some restrictions. I don't know. Sorting you will be doing will be stored in the GitHub website. Yes, all the code are going to be available. You can later or even right now check out it, play with it, modify it, and stuff like that. And even you can do all this stuff legally. I don't know. Personally, I have a point. Like, I don't know. It actually annoys me when people create a GitHub repo but do not add the license file. Because if you create a GitHub repo and you do not put license file in your repository, people cannot legally use your stuff. So please, when you're creating a Git repository, please add license file, because it's only take a few clicks. Yeah. So even if you don't care about your code, just choose MIT license like I did. I don't mind if people end up, I don't know, using it and charging money and stuff. So, okay, 11 people watching. I think in the beginning it was like 5. I don't remember, so I'm going to explain the app I'm building. It's a simple note-taking app, but for ideas. Possibly there will be some support for user accounts, for voting, for comments, but I'm not sure if there will be enough time to build it. So likely it won't be all that fancy. And if you're not familiar with Flask, I'm going to show you its website. Flask is a web framework. It's particularly good for beginners because it's really simple, but it's also powerful. So these 7 lines allow you to create a basic app, basic Hello World app. Mm, so stop. So it's simple, but it's also extensible and it's also really powerful. And if you are choosing between Django and Flask, so and you don't know neither Flask nor Django, just choose Flask because it has a nicer learning curve. Or so I hear. I actually only know Flask. I took a look at Django code and I like Flask a bit more. Yeah, so let's actually start building an app. And I'm going to use virtualenv, which is I'm going to explain why I need it. So basically, virtualenv creates a directory then where all Python file stuff goes. It has its own pip, and pip is a package manager for Python, so you can install other people libraries easily. So I'm going to activate virtualenv. Sorry. And virtualenv allows you to isolate different apps, and different apps may use different versions of the same library, and it's all really easy. So I'm going to install Flask now, and I'm going to copy a simple. I think I'm going to do most of work in Firefox, so I can see your chat and your questions. So I set up installed Flask, and I'm just going to copy this hello world code. So let's launch it. I need to activate it, and let's launch it. And it launches a local web server on this address. Oh, sorry. So, yep, it's up and running, and it has like hello world page. Nice. By the way, so the next thing I'm going to do is to install a bunch of plugins that I will need, and there are plenty of Flask plugins. It took me a while to learn all these plugins, so don't be intimidated, and don't worry if you like looking at plugin and don't know how to use it, and it takes you a few hours to figure out, because I was in the similar position. It took me like probably hours and days to properly learn all this stuff. But now I'm going to install it in like 5 minutes and build a basic web app using these plugins in another 5 minutes. So I'm going to install I think I need Flask VTF, which is for handling HTML forms. I will need Flask Bootstrap, which has nice integration with which integrates Bootstrap and Flask together. I might also need either Flask User or Flask Security for handling user accounts, but I think at this point I'm not going to install them. So I'm going to start with Flask VTF, Flask good stuff, and I also need Flask SQL Alchemy. Yes, typo. And by the way, I think I'm going to use Heroku, and Heroku is really convenient hosting for web apps, not for code like GitHub, but for actual web apps that can be run. And I have an account in there. It's pretty simple because you don't need to deal with various sysadmin stuff. You don't need to buy your own VPS. You don't need to install various software to configure it. Like you need to configure Postgres and other stuff, which is not that hard if you're if you have a lot of experience. But personally, I prefer that someone else is doing my work. And I don't remember my password. Okay, I promise that I will be doing this in Firefox because there is a question. Sorry. And these things you install are the plugins that you will need for this specific app you are making. Yes, you might also need them if you're building your own app because Flask VTF simplifies handling of HTML forms. And I don't know, most of web apps have forms. Again, Flask SQL Alchemy simplifies database stuff. And if you're going to store some information, some data, you will probably need either Flask SQL Alchemy or some other plugin. Of course, you could build something yourself, but it's more convenient and simpler to use other people's code. So. Okay, I remember my password now. So there is a nice dashboard, and they have like 3 apps here. I'm going to create a new one. Yes, that plus sign. Leave blank, and I'm going to call it Idea Notes. Idea Notes is available. Region, I'm going to choose United States. Create app. There is some GitHub integration. Deploy changes with GitHub. I actually haven't used this one. Optionally choose a branch to deploy automatically whenever it is pushed to. Okay, I'm going to try it. Because why not? Repositories, authorize application. Sounds like fun. Repo name. I don't remember what its name was. Idea note taken. File. connect, deploy GitHub branch, and this is continuous integration stuff. I think you need to manually enable it, so I don't have it enabled. Automatic deploys. Maybe, I'm not sure actually. Do I need it? Yeah, okay, let's enable it. Because again, why not? So it's pretty cool. So yeah, right. So one thing I'm going to need is to create a list of Python libraries I'm using and put it into requirements.txt. It's a standard way of naming a file. I mean, it's standard name for all dependencies for your project. So I have like all these dependencies. Yeah, and I'm going to create a prods file, and prods file is I promised I'm going to use Firefox. And prods file is basically some config that Heroku uses to figure out how to run your app. Okay, I need Heroku Python GitHub. This up, and I need just prods file. And basically here I specify if I actually don't remember how exactly to specify it, so I'm going to Firefox. Where is it? I'm going to take a look, getting started with PI. Yeah, I think it was like up. So first of all, you specify the name of Python file, and then you specify your app object, which is app. Yeah. So let's try running it. Search for month start. And another command. This is because I need to install Unicorn. Basically, JUnicorn. What was it? Okay, and a bit. I don't know what the hell just happened. It complains about invalid syntax. Okay, let's install it. So JUnicorn is a web server. It sort of actually handles. I mean, it's okay. I made a typo. I have no idea. Okay, like maybe it's working. Okay, and JUnicorn is like a web server. It actually listens to some port. It actually accepts its requests from browsers, and it passes you to your application. So that's why I'm specifying here an actual Python class name. So let's see if connection and use. Really? Okay, it's already in use, and I know what is using it. It's actually it's actually an app from my building a search engine series. If you don't know, I'm also doing search engine streams once per week on Saturdays at 8 p.m. UTC. There are like 9 videos available, or maybe all 10. Okay, 10 videos available, so 10 episodes. And here is what I have right now. So it's an actual search engine. It's simple and small, but it's already working. There is no ranking right now, and it's missing a lot of stuff. Yeah, but it works somehow. It's index small, so I'm in the process of building it, and I need to kill it right now. I think I know where is it. Let me do it real quick. Okay. Yes, I found it. So I'm going to kill it and go back to launching an app. Okay, it works. It now returns hello world as it should. And now I'm going to deploy to Heroku. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to push it to the code to GitHub, and Heroku promised me to automatically deploy it. So let's see. I never used this feature, and I always did deployment manually using git push. It's not difficult, but there is a couple of manual steps. So I'm going to add a bunch of files to commit. I'm going to update requirements txt because I installed JUnicorn, so I should update it. And then go to pros file. I actually could have added all the files with one comment, but whatever. Pros file f5 requirements txt, yes. Let's see. a username for GitHub. Okay. Password. Okay. Okay. Yep. So the app should be in my GitHub. Let me check it. Yeah, here is it. So 2 commits. So here is the diff. I think you already saw it. So I'm just showing you in GitHub. And Heroku promised to automatically deploy. Let's see if it did. Let's see how long does it take for Heroku to deploy an app from GitHub. Oh, sorry, that was Heroku. Idea nodes. No add-ons, no dinos. And Dinos, or Dinos, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. So Dinos, actually, some machines, like computers, but Heroku calls it Dinos for some reason. So I need to add a worker dyno, or I think not a worker, but a web dyno. So okay, let's save it. And let's see if it was deployed. Okay, it says it was deployed a minute ago. Let's see if it works. And Heroku gives you an actual third level domain name. I think it should be idea nodes herokuapp.com. Let's see if it works. Yes. So here is Hello World app running on Heroku. You can check it yourself. I'm going to put it in chat. Although you can't easily post URLs, so you can create this app yourself. I mean the URL for the app, you need to combine it yourself. So now I'm going to try to find. I'm going to. Okay, I promise to use Firefox. I'm going to add some fancy, nice HTML using Flask Bootstrap. And I'm going to explain how Flask works. I mean, not Flask, but Jinja. And Jinja is a template engine that Flask uses. Instead of writing a full HTML page, you can write a simple or not so simple template. And Jinja, and you can add a bunch of stuff here. And basically, it allows you to put some logic in HTML template, and then, oh yeah, cool, it works. Yeah, that's great actually. And Jinja will create an actual HTML from a template. You can use variables here. You can put some code here. And I think I'm going to show you this. yeah, so I'm going to create templates directory, templates, then I'm going to open it and create template named index.html, and I'm going to copy this. I think I don't need enough bar right now, so I'm going to remove this block, and basically I'm going to explain this stuff so you're not so confused. Basically, there is a parent template, and in template you can define certain areas of HTML, and then you can override these areas. And these areas, these parts of file called blocks, and it allows you to reuse a lot of stuff. So as you might know, like a typical Hello World HTML will, especially with Bootstrap, might take quite a lot of code, and I'm actually can show you. There is Firefox. So there is a bunch of stuff like doctype HTML, HTML attributes. There is some jQuery scripts. There is Bootstrap CSS. There is some other boilerplate, head, title, all this stuff, and there is a bunch of areas, blocks defined, and then you can override them. So it's pretty cool. It allows you to reuse a lot of code and not write your code manually. So let's see if it works. I'm going to run Foreman start. And Foreman, I forgot to explain it. Foreman is a program that Heroku uses. It's part of so-called Heroku tool belt, and it allows you to run Heroku apps locally, just as they would run on remote server. Why it's not working? I'm not sure. Okay. So to create from template an actual HTML, there is a function called render template. So instead of returning hello world, I'm going to return a render template, and I'm going to call it index.html. So it renders this file. So it transforms it, it expands a lot of this stuff, like this blocks stuff, and then there is an actual HTML that's going to be returned and served to user. Sorry. Let's see if it works. Oh, internal server error. Okay. I'm going to launch it as Python AppPy because it allows a simpler debugging. I'm going to add app debug equals true. So I'm going to actually I think I can do it this way. It would be better. Yes. Nice. So it shows a nice HTML with an error. And if you launch your app with the unicorn, you can't see this because that's how things are. I actually can't easily explain it because I don't quite get it. It's because how WSGI works, and I'm not that knowledgeable at WSGI and whatever. So yes, so what do I need to do now? Oh, I remembered. Actually, I didn't copy and pasted the Flask Bootstrap Hello World. I didn't. I mean, I copy pasted, but only one part, and I need to do a couple. I need to add a couple more lines of code. So, so now it should be able to find what the okay. So now it should be able to find the actual template, which is basic HTML. Yes, hello Bootstrap. Let's push it to Heroku and let's add templates. Oh, god damn it. I actually accidentally added swap file from Vim. Yes. Let's push it. Okay. Now I'm going to check if okay. It might take a while to deploy, and that's okay. But I'm interested how long. So I'm just going to sit here for a couple of minutes and just refresh this page to see the new version. And meanwhile, you can ask me questions while I'm refreshing it and pouring myself some cold. Still not deployed. It actually takes, when you do it manually, it usually takes a minute or so. Yes. So a couple of minutes. That's pretty cool. And I need to think what to do next. I think I'm going to start with creating a form and just printing the form contents to terminal. So like I mentioned, I'm going to work step by step, iteratively, and yeah, so let's open our template, and I'm going to add a form here. And as you might remember, I used Flask BTF, which is a library for simplifying using forms, creating forms. Now, okay, let's copy paste a bunch of imports and put it here. Then let's create a class for form. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Actually, the app will be pretty simple. There will be idea string field, and there will be a button. How do I make a button? Flask Bootstrap VTF. Actually, Flask Bootstrap has some support for Flask VTF. So I'm actually going to check how to use Flask VTF with Flask Bootstrap. And I need actually I think there was an example app which I might sample application. Okay, submit button. I'm going to add submit button here, and I'm going to rename submit form to add idea. Submit field. So I'm going to also add, so I'm going to also copy and paste this line, and Flask VTF requires a secret key, and secret key must be secret. In this case, it's not very secret, and the way to manage it. So there are two ways of managing your secret stuff, and obviously they are not going to end up very secret because I'm streaming. So I'm going to use default value, which is div key, and basically there are two ways. First way, if you have a private code, you can just generate a secret key and put it like this. So just replace div key with something more random. Another way is to get secret key from environment variables, and this is a better way, especially if you are storing your code on GitHub, because you need to keep your secret, secret, not public, and GitHub repositories are typically public. So I'm not going to do it now, but I'm going to tell you that using environment variables is the best way, and Heroku supports it really well. But for this stream, I'm going to just use this. Then I'm not going to use captcha. Yeah. And I'm going to, I think that's it. I need to create an actual form here. And and there is a nice way to do it. using quick form macros. So if you are building your own app, it might take a while to figure out all these extents and imports and how to do them properly. But I already know it. Basically, there are macros and there is quick form macros that you can use, and it will expand into some actual HTML code. So here is the syntax for it. And I'm actually imported it from bootstrap/vtf.html. Form tag inline. I'm going to use the very basic form, no inline forms. Button map. I don't quite remember what is it. Yeah, let's start it. Okay. Okay, I need to start it using this. Form is undefined. Yeah, basically I need to pass a form here. And obviously form is undefined at this point anyway, as you can see, global form is not defined. This is because I need to create, to disable fasting. I'm going to create this form, right? So yeah, it works. Nice. I'm actually going to put it into a div, so it will be formatted more nicely. Okay, so I'm refreshing. Notice the difference. Yes, nice space here and here. Actually, div is an HTML block, and it's a way to group stuff. And class is well, class. I'm not going to explain how CSS works because it may take a while. And I'm going to tell that container is some sort of bootstrap CSS class, like it's. And for this class, it defines a bunch of nice padding, margins, and so on. So it makes the white space this nice space. I'm actually not very good in HTML and Bootstrap, so I usually try to find some example and copy and paste it. And I'm not very proficient in, and I don't fully understand how to customize the looks, although I know basics. Yeah. So it looks nice. And I'm going to, it's obviously not working. Method not allowed. But that's not a big deal. I'm going to rename my form into nicer name, which is going to be idea form. Then I'm going to add commit it and push it to GitHub, and so it will be automatically deployed to Heroku. Yeah, okay, nice. I'm not going to check it out right now because I have stuff to do, and typically there are two types of requests. that your browser does. There are more than just two, but these two are like the most common. It's put and get. And get requests are used for browser to, well, get stuff like requests HTML page. And post requests are used to send some stuff back. I think you can use both post and get for getting and receiving stuff. But there is like this, I think, semantical distinction. So I need to allow get both post and get requests here, so the form will work. And then I need to validate form. Validate on submit. Okay, if everything is okay, I can do a bunch of stuff here, and I can take like submitted idea. I'm going to show you how all this stuff works. It's basically, I think I decided I'm not going to print it. I'm going to embed the submitted idea in HTML. And I think I'm going to do it this way. So this part is not going to be changed, but this part is going to be expanded with the contents of variable submitted idea, which I passed here. Yeah, so it should work now. Let's see. It's not very useful yet, but it shows how to use forms. And then I'm going to, let's see. Okay, submitted idea, no idea submitted. That's not surprising. That's not surprising. So let's submit an idea. And I have an idea, like some cool idea. Yes, works like magic. And of course, if I'm going to refresh this HTML, if I'm going to refresh it, it's going to disappear, because that's how web servers work. So basically what it does, it takes your form contents, it replaces this with submitted idea, and it sends it back to your browser. And of course, we want to store it. And to store it, we are going to use databases, and we are going to use Flask SQL Alchemy. We are going to use Postgres as a database. Yeah. And by the way, let's commit it. I love to commit often, and I like to deploy stuff regularly. And how do I explain that? And by the way, all the stuff that when I put stuff on GitHub, it's immediately available at my GitHub GitHub profile. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, here is it. So you can just take a look at the code. Alright, so it's the same as I'm working on, and you can play with it right now if you want. And let's see if it works, if everything is okay with Heroku. Idea nodes, herokuapp.com. Method not allowed. Okay, I think it's because it's not deployed yet, because it takes a couple of minutes. So I'm going to go back to Heroku a bit later. And right now I'm going to add, not this app, not this. I'm going to go back to Heroku and take a look at activity feed first. Less than a minute ago. Okay, it should be deployed. Actually, I wanted to add that database, but since it's deployed, let's take a look. Okay, it works. You can play with it, and I'm going to add a database. So to add database, you need to add an add-on, and there is a bunch of different add-ons for Heroku, like a bunch of different databases. By the way, there is it. There is MySQL, there is Postgres, there is GraphianDB, which is some graph database. If you're just starting web development, you probably won't need it. There is Mongo, another Mongo, another Mongo, 3 different providers of Redis. I think there are like hundreds of different plugins, and there is like handling payments. There is plugins for sending emails. Mailgun, I like Mailgun. I have used it and it's nice. I recommend it. And there are literally a lot of different ones, and I need Postgres. So I'm going to add it as web interface. And by the way, Heroku is free if you are doing some basic web development. But if you like creating a small app, you will probably be happy with Heroku. But for larger apps, it's going to cost money, which I think is okay. It's pretty cool that it's available freely. Okay, it logged me off. So I want to add HobbyDev for free, and I'm going to select my app, which is Idea Nodes. Idea Nodes, add HobbyDev for free. Your database is empty. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so, where is it? Okay, 9 people watching. That's cool. I like that. And I hope you aren't bored, because I didn't build a meaningful app in 1 hour. So I think I'm going to stream for another one. Although I typically try to aim for 1 hour. But I'm just started. I can't just end it here. I want to at least add a basic database support. So I hope you aren't bored. Okay, I think I need to just go back to Heroku. Oh, wow, here is it. Here is a plugin. and you can create backups easily. You can do lots of stuff easily with Heroku. And I'm actually, although I have a local database, local Postgres, I'm going to use the same database for, here is it, some secret stuff. And you now know how to use my database. Okay, it's not full credentials, but anyway. And to use it, I need to somehow transfer this stuff to my application. I could just copy and paste it into it, but that's not very robust. What if this URLs change? It means that I need to change my code, and I don't want to. Okay, so I'm going to answer a question. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some basic support for environment variables. And I mean, there is support for environment variables in Python. And I'm just going to get stuff from environment variables. But first I'm going to answer these questions. So for people like me that is really starting from scratch, what are the things that I need to install or have a subscription to? Well, if you're just starting, you probably don't need VPS or Heroku account. You can just do all your web development locally. But since Heroku is free, I recommend that you start using it. Although it may take a couple of days to get used to it. It's really simple once you figure out how to use Heroku, but before that you need to read a bunch of documents, I mean some documentation. So that's about subscription. I don't think you need anything more than Heroku. But you don't actually need Heroku. It's nice to have, but you don't need it. You can do it locally. You can do your web development locally. As for installing, I think you need Python. Obviously need to install it. So I'm going to open Vim and just things you need: Python, Flask. Flask is a web framework. Obviously, you can do web development in different languages. For example, there are Ruby on Rails, a framework for Ruby. So if you want to learn Ruby, you can do it. Another popular one is Node.js. It's for it's like Python plus Flask, but for JavaScript. You can do your web development in it. Then there is PHP. But if you want to do web development in Python, you need Python Flask. Maybe some plugins for Flask. Git is a version control. What else? You need text editor. Personally, I'm using Vim, but I don't recommend you if you are just starting. It's a pretty advanced editor, and it may be difficult to learn initially because it has this weird concept. I mean, I really like it. It's really awesome concept, but it takes a while to get used to it. In Vim, there are multiple modes: one mode for editing, one mode for inserting, one mode visual, and if you don't know how to create Vim, so it's a bit unusual. You type WK if you want to save file, or just Q if you want to queue it. And another question, web framework is so the app can be run using a web browser. Yeah, sort of. Web framework greatly simplifies talking to web browser. So as you can see here, I just tell I just add some code that where I explain to Flask that I want to serve this URL with this function, and it prepares actual HTML for me, and it greatly simplifies things. And it's pretty high level. You also need web server, and in Flask there is a built-in web server that I'm calling here using AppRun, and Gunicorn is another web server. And Gunicorn is better for production, but for development and debugging, Flask built-in server is better. So yeah, you might want to learn about Twitter Bootstrap and HTML with CSS. But Bootstrap is pretty advanced framework. If you just start, I recommend not looking at Bootstrap and just learning plain HTML and plain CSS and messing with it for a couple of weeks at least, or maybe a month before you move to Bootstrap. Or maybe a month is already filled, but I think a couple of weeks is definitely recommended. Maybe you need to learn some JavaScript if you want to use some fancy front-end stuff. But I'm not going to use JavaScript today. What else? By the way, there is a cool tutorial by Miguel Greenberg. Yeah, Flask. I used it a lot, so I'm going to post it here. There is 18 parts, and it goes so, and in each part it describes how to use Flask for web development. I used it pretty extensively, so I'm going to copy it here. Okay. Okay, it's usual with YouTube, you need to combine it for yourself. I mean, the URL. And I think this is it. Yeah, that's all you need to do web development. Actually, you can just play with Flask for a while locally, then move to maybe Heroku. And if you are starting using Heroku, you will learn some Git. So initially, if you are just complete novice, just start with Python. Just play with it, learn about shell. Maybe don't touch web development initially, just play with it, or create a couple of simple programs like that. Just print a bunch of stuff to terminal, and then move to web development using Flask. And don't use Bootstrap initially, use some HTML and CSS. And once you have some simple web app, try to deploy it to Heroku, because Heroku is based on good web development practices. it does a lot of stuff right, and so you will learn Git, you will learn pip and virtualenv, and it's really, and these practices you probably should be using even if you are not using Heroku. Yeah. So okay, back to code. What I need to do now is to figure out how to store stuff in database. And by the way, I'm sorry, I'm going to be off for 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. Still 8 people watching. 7. That's kind of funny. Okay, so I really want to build some basic database support, and Heroku stores a bunch of in Heroku there is a bunch of variables, environment variables that where a lot of secrets are stored, like your database credentials. So I need to pull them. Sorry. So there is now a file called .env where 2 variables are stored, and I would like to not show it to you because there are secrets like database credentials, and although I'm pretty sure that you girls and guys are not evil, I still feel a bit uneasy sharing it because the video is going to be available on the internet. So maybe I will show you them, maybe not, but there is like 2 lines and they contain 2 environment variables. I think I should be using some sort of plugin like Flask app config, but I'm a bit lazy and I would like to build an app quickly because I'm streaming for almost an hour and a half. So yeah, okay. So let's figure out how to use Flask SQL Alchemy. And actually, I was, even though I have a lot of programming experiences, like 4 years with C++ and a year and a half with Python. I actually used some databases only this year. I mean, I messed a bit with Postgres before and with MongoDB before, but not much. And actually, I'm not really good with databases, but I know how to build simple apps. Nice. So again, let's copy and paste a bunch of stuff. I actually spent like few days at least studying SQL Alchemy, SQL, because many relationships were difficult to me, and actually still are. So I'm going to create DB object, and then I'm going to inherit this DB model class, and basically each relationship, each database table needs to have a primary key, and it's basically some sort of ID. So here is it. It's an integer and its primary key, and here I need only like idea, and I think that 80 is kind of small, and also I think I might need something like idea title and idea description, but let's say I have just this. Just idea that can be. Hey, by the way, why don't I make it 140? Why? I think an idea should fit in a tweet. And later I'm going to make larger, I'm going to add another field with a large description of idea. Okay, 4 people watching. That's because typically you get tired at 1 hour mark. So I'm going to really try to fit it into 2 hours, because it's like really long. So I need to create all the tables. There is no harm to call this function every time your program runs. So now I have a class that describes an idea. Okay, why it's called user? It should be called idea, and it sort of describes how idea in a database. It's actually something called actually SQL Alchemy is something called object relational mapping. So it takes database rows and not only rows, but in this case it will take a database row and create a nice Python object of class idea. So it's pretty cool. And I'm going to now to add basic support. I need to go here into, by the way, why it's called hello. It should be called something like index. Okay, I'm here and I need to add some code here. When the user submits a form, I need to take data and store it in a database. So something like this idea, and I don't need this submitted idea stuff. Idea equals idea. Okay, ID and idea. I think it's going to be called idea name instead of just idea. And I'm going to rename it in the form as well, because I think it's a better name than just idea, because it's a name of idea. By the way, what's its name? Okay, it's not name, it's idea name. And then I need to call db session add, and then call db session commit to actually save changes in the database. So then I need to I don't have this, I did not submitted idea stuff now, so I'm going to remove it. So I think it should work now, but maybe you're not going to believe me. So what I want to do now is to add some nice list. Actually, let's make it ordered list. And I'm going to show current list of submitted ideas. And to do this, I need to list of ideas equals list of ideas. So I'm passing list of ideas variable that not variable but object. I think an object is a bit more correct, technically correct way of saying what I'm doing. So I'm going to pass this list of ideas object. I do not have it yet, but I'm going to create it in a minute. And I'm going to iterate over this list, which is basically like Python list, but not quite. I'm going to explain it in a moment. And to iterate, I'm going to use for loop. Jinja has support for loops. And it's pretty similar to Python loops, but not quite. And I'm going to create a list element, list item, the idea name. Oh, sorry. And to expand variables content, I use this. I mean this syntax, double brackets, and I think this is it. And I think what I'm going to do is just create this list of ideas. And it's actually relatively simple. I think this should work, but I think I can avoid calling all, so I can do just this. Okay. So, and I'm actually going to add else. In Jinja, there is another thing for loops, because they can have else part, and this part is going to be executed when there is an empty list of ideas. Sorry. Actually, I think I should do. How do I do it? Should be colon tag. Okay. Let's just add a list item that is. I don't quite like that I'm doing it like this. Let's see. Okay. No such table. Okay, this is because I need to call dbCreateAll after I define this class. Okay, let's see. No such table. Okay, let's restart it manually. Let's try calling the bare session commit. I'm not sure why it's not working. Should be working just fine. Let's try and see an actual database. No relations. Okay, it means that it didn't create table. Okay. Let's try to launch a shell. And because I have some environment variables in .env file, I need to launch Python shell with foreman. Because I want Python shell to see these environment variables. Because right now I'm going to do this. And it uses some environment variables. Let's see. Okay, didn't work. I think because I need to set up SQL Alchemy database URL in config. Let's see if it works now. Okay. Still not working. Okay, let's launch it. Let's launch a Python shell again. Still not working. Maybe I copy and pasted it incorrectly. Here is it. Here is that Stack Overflow question. Oh yes, it's URI, not URL. So I need to change this L with I. Okay, let's re-import it. Still not working? Or maybe it's working already. No model named PsychoPG2. Okay, and I know why is it. It's because we need to install some Python model. So Flask SQL Alchemy will use it to connect to database. So Flask SQL. So there are different databases and there are different Python models there are different Python models, and that's why we need to install a model for the database that we are using. And its name is PsychoPG. Actually, PsychoPG2. Okay. It might take a while to install. I think it's building some C++ code or maybe C code. I'm interested in the language. I think it's C code. And now we need to update requirements.txt. Okay, let's see. Okay. Form and run. Yes, and it says no ideas yet, because, well, there is no ideas yet. And I'm going to add some more eye candy. I'm going to add p tag, wrap this into a new p tag. Let's see. Where is it? Yes, looks a bit nicer because there is some spacing now, some padding or margin. So let's try adding an idea. Idea name, idea1. Init takes exactly 2 arguments, 1 given. And I can see, yeah. Okay. Actually, I think there are 2 ways to fix it. First of all, I could create a constructor with just 1 parameter, self, and I mean, init is called a constructor in Python. So I could just create 1 argument a constructor with just one argument, but I also could use this constructor and use it like this. Form, idea, name, data. And I don't need that line anymore. Let's see. Oh, okay, sorry. Let's open it. No ideas yet. Idea 1. Okay, it's empty. This is weird. Okay, this is because I used idea.name and I should be using idea.idea_name. No. Okay, why? And I should be using idea name here too. Let's see. Okay, idea name. Oh, sorry. Idea 1. Yes, worked. Hurrah. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is just commit these changes at database support. I'm going to push it to Heroku. I'm going to push it to GitHub, and it will be deployed on Heroku in a couple more minutes. So if you want, you can go on ideanodes.herokuapp.com and see this code. It's still previous version, and you can actually see how things change in database. Okay. So it's going to be deployed in a couple of minutes, and you can play with it. I don't mind if you mess with the app. Okay, here is the new version. So you can go there and add some ideas. So, of course, there is a need for nice web interface, and there is a need for user accounts. Maybe I need to release another episode of this stream, or maybe I need to stream it then next week. But I think I'm going to end it in 10 or 15 minutes because it's already almost 2 hours, and for some reason the amount of viewers is increasing. I'm wondering if it is the new people or people who have been watching it for an hour and then just decided to take a break. Why is it suddenly increased when I decided that I need to end? So I need to think what I would like to add in 15 minutes. If you have any questions, as usual, you can ask me in the chat. And meanwhile, I'm going to think of the stuff that I can add in just 10 minutes. maybe I could split it into two HTML templates, like one HTML template for adding ideas and another one for... No, I don't like it. What should I do? It's a short time span, but I have basic web app. I won't be able to add support for user accounts. Yeah. So it's now 3 people watching. Yeah, maybe I should end it now. I don't know. Maybe I could add maybe some redesign real quick. I don't know. Maybe I could split Python code into different files. Maybe I should try to use Flask app config. I don't know. Okay, 2 people watching. I guess I should just end it at this moment. I'm going to maybe release another episode next week, or maybe I'm going to stream. You can go on my YouTube channel and you can see these streams planned. I typically plan them in advance, so I typically plan them at least 2 or 3 days before the events, before I'm actually doing streaming. Okay, yeah. You can also watch my other recordings. You can watch Building a Search Engine series. That is 10 episodes. And there I'm building an actual search engine that searches over our Learn programming posts. So I don't think I can do all that much in 10 minutes. So I'm going to end this stream in a couple minutes. I will wait for 3 minutes because there is a certain amount of lag, at least 30 seconds. So if there are questions on the sidebar in the chat, then I'm going to answer them. And if there are no questions, I'm going to end the stream. And yeah, hopefully we will see you. You can actually collaborate to this code on GitHub. You can send me pull requests. Since the code is open and free software. Yeah. I'm going to check my GitHub. 6 commits. Add at readme. Okay. Commit me file. Oh, cool. I just committed from web interface. It's kind of nice. Two persons coding. Actually, it's maybe pretty fun, and I'm open to the idea of coding the app with someone else, like with you, Tigran. So actually, there is some support on YouTube. Add multiple screens. I don't know how well it works because so far I was streaming alone, but there is some support for multiple cameras on, or in our cases, of multiple screens. So another minute and I'm ending unless there are more questions or more messages in the chat. It kind of sucks that there is some lag. I mean, it's not quite real time. I think there is typically 30 seconds lag, give or take 10 seconds. And sometimes sometimes viewers suggest things in chat, and I'm like spending 30 seconds figuring out how to solve my problem, and then there is like a solution in the chat, and I could have used this solution, but there is a lag. And sometimes there is like two solutions in a row, and I could have saved like 2 minutes. Anyway, enough ranting. I'm going to end this broadcast. I'm going to here. So thank you for watching. I'm going to continue working on this app, so you can see either offline episode or live stream, and I think it will be a live stream, possibly with another person, and not even possibly, but probably. Yeah, so thank you for watching. Code is available on GitHub. The stream will be available as usual YouTube, no video, like not the same URL. So you can watch this video later. And okay, let me check if there is more messages in the chat, just in case. Okay, no more messages. Thank you for watching.